Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League, the FPL visit. I hope you're all fine, I hope you're all having fun, and I hope you're all ready and geared up for another game week of FPL, fellas. With the news going around that Liverpool has some kind of a storm, with the news going around the world that there's a new variant of coronavirus, you know, the news feed has been a bit crazy on Twitter today. Everybody concerned about whether the Liverpool match is gonna go ahead. Is Salah gonna play? Is it all right to captain Salah? What happens to that game if it gets cancelled? As of now, the information that I have is that the game is not getting cancelled. Like they say it's gonna be fine. The fans might find it a bit more difficult to get to the stadium, but I guess that's gonna be about it. The match is gonna happen. Hey FPL Knights, Jug, Sully, Sam, Babikar. Welcome guys, I hope you're all fine. FPL Jug says, Andy says that the Liverpool, yeah exactly, that's exactly what I read as well, Jugs. I was on Twitter, I was reading the news, and from what I know, the game should go ahead because, if the game was supposed to be cancelled, they would have told the fans to stay at home, or they would have at least told something to the people who go to the stadium to watch the games. But since nothing of that sort has happened, so we can only assume that the match should go ahead, guys, and that's good news for Salah captainers. About my team and about my last game week, I'd like to just tell you that I got 71 points, but because I took a hit, it got reduced to 67, and I had a small red arrow, and the overall rank is now close to 140k. Not where I want to be, but far away from, some of the ranks. Like, I just need to break into the top 100k pretty soon. I took a risk on Harry Kane. Antonio Conte's first home game, but that didn't go too well. Hopefully Harry Kane can repay the faith a little bit in this game week when most people have gone with Son. So FPL Knight says Chilwell injury breaks the template defense. To be honest with you, FPL Knight, I don't think it's gonna make much of a difference. People are just gonna kind of transfer out Chilwell and they're gonna bring in Alonso or Rudiger. The template defense stays, in my opinion, until something happens. I think the template defense stays. Although I don't have the template defense, actually I went with two City defenders on my wildcard rather than two Chelsea defenders, which in hindsight wasn't the right decision to make. But yeah. I think people who own Chilwell are just going to transfer out for Alonso. I am Sally says I got 82 last week, so it's promising. Nice. That's amazing. I think you must have owned Rudiger. That's the only difference that kind of made or make or broke people's game week last week. Rudiger scoring a goal, keeping a clean sheet. All the other kind of usual suspects. Trent did well. Salah scored a goal. Jota did well against Arsenal. I already predicted, I told you guys, Arsenal, they might be in good form, they might be doing bits, but when we go to Anfield in the recent past, we always tend to get hammered. Excuse me. FPL Knight says Kane vice captain and avoiding a Liverpool vice captain with the Storm news. Absolutely, guys. What you should be doing anyway is, never put a captain and vice captain from the same team. Always, especially in the fixture congestion weeks, try to put your captain and vice captain on two different players, preferably from different days as well. So for example, if Salah plays on Saturday, try to put your vice captain on a person who plays on Sunday. It just makes it kind of easier. Light Ray says, made any transfers with no, Light, this game week I'm rolling my transfer, and I want to have two transfers for kind of midweek games. So I'm just kind of preparing for those games. I want to transfer out Diaz, for Alonso, because the next game week they play Watford, but I don't want to do it right now. I don't want to always hurry into my transfers. So what I'm doing is I'm just waiting patiently and rolling my transfer. Yeah, Michael says, who should I bring in for Havertz? I mean, Havertz is fit. The news came out that he's fit in training, so you can keep Havertz if you want to. If you want to transfer him out, I'd say Jota. If the Liverpool game goes through, Jota is a really good option. You know, looks in good form too. FPL Sam says Foden is causing me a headache. To be honest with you, Foden, in my opinion, if he has a chance to start, I think he will. He was training alone, but Pep's comments were a little bit encouraging. But if I had Foden personally myself, I would get rid. I'm Sully says, yeah, mainly defense. Yeah, of course, everybody's defense did well last week. You know, Trent, Cancelo, James. If you had Rudiger, that was awesome. FPL Sam says, but in the end decided to keep him. That means no Jota for me. To be honest with you, it's a bit touch and go with Foden. If I had Foden, I'd possibly think about moving him on for Jota. If I didn't want to go for Jota, I would also think about Bernardo Silva. I think he's been consistent. He's been consistently playing well over the past few weeks, but people are avoiding him just because he's not as explosive as an option. Maliwab says, hi Wiz, thanks for the new hat. You're welcome, my friend. I just changed my membership options, so Smellywab, you're now in the Gandalf tier, and I love that. So welcome, my friend. FPL Jack says, I've made James my vice captain. Interesting, bro. James has been in such good form. Nobody can fault you for doing that. Jackson says, what transfer plans? The transfer plan, what I have, Jackson, is I want to move on Diaz for Alonso, and I also want to move on Bukayo Saka. And potentially I'm looking at Bernardo Silva in place of Bukayo Saka. But unfortunately, if I move on Diaz to Alonso, I would be 0.1 million short of making the move from Saka to Bernardo Silva. So it's a little bit up in the air at the moment how I'm going to bring in Bernardo Silva in place of Saka. So for now, the only transfer that I've booked next week, if everything stays well for midweek, I might take out Diaz to Alonso. Not kinda... I want to watch these games in game week 13 before I make my decision, so can't tell you much more, bro. SH says, hello Wiz, how are you? SH, I've been alright, bro. I'm suffering from a weird kind of cold, but otherwise I'm fine. FPL Knight says, how do you rate? If Todd was here, he would say that Visit sounds like a bass today, not a tenor. FPL Knight says, how do you rate Emerson Royale? Reguilon not completing 90 minutes, and Conte had good comments about Sessegnon. Well, Sessegnon got sent off in the conference game after 31 minutes. I'm not sure if Conte would be happy with Sessegnon. The thing is, I watched Emerson Royale. I watched the entire Spurs game against Leeds. Emerson Royale just doesn't look to be a good footballer. You know, if you listen to Arsenal Fan TV, Don Robbie, he called him Emerson Peasant, not Emerson Royale. Just kidding, but you know, it just doesn't look like a good footballer. You know, maybe he's not found his feet in the English game. There you go. Todd is here. Welcome, my friend. I was already saying, I said if Todd was here today, I'd say that I sound like a bass today and not a tenor. I have this weird cold, so yeah. Hakif says, Wiz, is Azpilicueta to Rudiger? I think if I was you, I would move on Azpilicueta. He's too expensive to keep getting benched. You know, as an FPL asset, I don't think Azpilicueta is that nailed on anymore. I don't know why he fell out of favor with Thomas Tuchel, but he did. You know? Lighter says, maybe write rolling a transfer at the top of the screen. Think you might keep getting asked. That's true, Light. I just wanted to put like the membership stuff in the pinned message, you know. That is the reason I didn't put my transfer, but I will do it for sure. As for all the regular viewers of the channel, guys, I've changed my membership options for the channel, and now the Dumbledore membership is absolutely for the price of a coffee. So if you would like to support the FPL community, please do hit join and become a member of the channel. It really helps, and it does motivate me to make more content as well, guys. FPL Knight says, my double Chelsea defense ends. Not going Alonso way, I expect him to start more than Azpilicueta. Rudiger is too expensive for a centre back now. To be honest with you, FPL Knights, the Chelsea fixtures are good. The Chelsea defense is absolutely good as well. The only reason why I wouldn't go with Alonso is if you don't expect him to start most of the games. If you do expect him to start most of the games, I think he's still a good play, Alonso. Anis says Havertz to Jota for a -4. Anis, to be honest with you, if you want, you can do it. If you don't, you cannot. But the problem is Havertz is fit. He's training. Chelsea's playing really good, and I expect him to start Havertz. For a -4, I'm not so sure. I really am not. Smellywab says like, subscribe, and join. Thank you so much, Smellywab. Is Livramento to Alonso for a back 5 stupid? No, I don't think it's stupid. The only problem is that Livramento in himself is a really good FPL asset and a cheap kind of defender, You never have a problem benching him if you want to. If you go 5 expensive defenders, you lose that flexibility because you always have to play those back 5 because you've invested so much money in them, But it's not a stupid play at all. I think it is the way to go right now. But I'd say 4 expensive defenders plus Livramento makes more sense to me, as per the team balance. Aaron says, "Hey, was any worries of Rafinha not starting?" I don't think so. I think Rafinha is fine, my friend. I expect Rafinha to start. Let me see what Marcelo Bielsa. Yeah, Marcelo Bielsa has I think Rafinha is fit and available for the game against Brighton, in my opinion. Yeah, I think so. Rafinha should be fine. I wouldn't be too worried about it. Owen says, start Wilson or Tony. Newcastle gonna just attack, and Everton and Brentford don't see too many goals. Well, I'd say that they've both got good fixtures. The thing is, like, Everton are like, playing like the usual Rafa teams. They're going back, like to their defensive tactics, especially because their attacking players are doing next to nothing. Demarai Gray is injured. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is injured. They don't have good options in attack. So, yeah, I expect Everton not to concede too many. But Arsenal won't concede too many either. I know they conceded 4 to Liverpool, but that's a different ball game. So I don't expect Wilson or Tony to score too many. But, just based on the fact that, Wilson has a decent record against Arsenal. If you want to start him, you can. This is a tough one, actually. There's not much to choose between them, to be honest with you. Owned. Thakif says best 5.9 million. 5.9 million. Rudiger, I'd say. If you want to downgrade, I'd say you can think about people like players like Aaron Van Bissaka. You can think about somebody like Reguilon. I know people have gone for Emerson Royale over Reguilon, but the way Reguilon was playing, or Emerson Royale was playing, I didn't see too much attacking threat from open play. The goal which Reguilon actually scored was from a set piece, a deflected free kick, and then he scored, Reguilon. So I was not too much enthused by the wing backs of Tottenham while watching that game. FPL Light says Saka to Bernardo in my plans too, giving Saka last game. Well, to be honest with you, Saka will go from my team even if he does well against Newcastle. I just kept him for this game, and eventually he has to leave, And Bernardo Silva is a really fantastic option at 7.2 million. He doesn't have the same rotation risk as Foden. He provides you with consistent returns. What else can you ask from a 7.2 million player? And he starts almost all the games, does Bernardo Silva. Anis says, we'll have it start. All the Chelsea attackers. I think Havertz should and could start, if he's fit. He's a big game player though, Havertz. Harry says, hey Wiz, best replacement for Chilwell. Not Reece James. Alonso, my friend. You can do a like-for-like left-back replacement for Alonso. You can even think about going with Rudiger. And if you don't want to go with the Chelsea asset, then, if you don't have Cancelo, you can definitely consider him. You want to downgrade, you can consider somebody like Aaron Van Bissaka. You can consider Reguilon if you want. Todd says, Ronaldo to Kane for a -4, 3-week punt only. Todd, United's fixtures are about to turn soon. So I'm not sure if you, not sure. I'm not enthused by how Spurs are playing at the moment. It just doesn't fill me with confidence. I watched the entire Leeds game. Kane had one chance. He was absolutely fluffing his lines. He had so many good chances to put through balls for Son, to make a pass, to take a shot. He was absolutely sloppy in that game. Hard for me to recommend you to take him in for a hit, Todd. Honestly. Hassan says Loughton can do things against Tottenham. Not sure about Loughton. Loughton only does things when he's in nobody's team. But technically I think if Burnley got a score, it has to come through Maxwell Cornet. Mohammed Babikar says Tony, Mbeumo, Rudiger. I already answered that, bro. If I was you, I would bench Mbeumo. It's Mr. May says any updates on Foden? Hang on, let me check. Crystal ball, show me whether you think Foden will play or not. According to what I have in my notes, they trained individually. Pep said they are training much better. Phil is much better. In the morning, we will see how they feel. We will not take risks, but hopefully they will come back soon. So, it was like a 50-50 from Pep. He was training individually, but he's much better now, this, that. So, in my opinion, you should be a little bit concerned about Foden. A little bit. Start Duffy or Antonio? Anis, technically you should always start the attacker. Always prefer the attacker. But if you want to make an exception due to City, you can. Alright? But as the rule of the FPL, as the game is biased towards strikers, you should always kind of start the striker over the defender. Michael says, Wiz, best midfielder in the 5 to 5.6 million range. 5 to 5... that's not a good, actually. There are not many good options in that range, actually. I've been looking as well. That's the reason I know. I'll still look, just once again. I like the look of Callum Hudson-Odoi, but I'm not sure how much he starts, He's been playing well. I've been thinking about him, but, just, Pep. As soon as you get these kinds of... Thomas Tuchel is like a Pep on steroids. 5.3 million for Hudson-Odoi, not a bad shout, but obviously not recommending you to get him. To be honest with you, my friend, there are not many good options in that price bracket. If I was you, I'd just, look to kind of downgrade. If I had to go in that price range, I'd even just go and downgrade. I don't want to say Mbeumo because he hasn't been doing much in the past few weeks. Otherwise, Mbeumo is good. You can think about Højbjerg. He's scored like 2 goals, 1 assist this season, but I don't like any of those options. Just have to be honest here. Yeah. Any good options like Gallagher, Smith Rowe, they're all above 5.6 million, my friend. So sorry, I don't have a good answer for you. Todd says thanks, Wiz. You're welcome, Todd. See, I would love to kind of have a clarity on Ronaldo to gain, but for a hit it just doesn't feel right. Although I don't expect United to beat Chelsea. That is not what I mean when I say that you shouldn't take out Ronaldo. If it wasn't for a hit, I'd possibly say yes, you can do it for 3 weeks. The problem is, like for a hit, you take out Ronaldo, especially when the fixtures are about to turn, and there's going to be a new enthusiasm with the new manager, and such a good manager coming to United now, Ralph Rangnick. So I don't know, if I was you, if I had Ronaldo, I'd want to keep him, not just for this game only. If for this game, I'd definitely want to get rid, but for the long term, I would want to keep Ronaldo. Aaron says, Wiz, I have Ronaldo in my team at the moment. Should I get Kane for this game week? See, Aaron, if you can get Kane for a free, I think you should. If you're having to take a hit, I think you have to double check or cross check again. Max says Alonso in for Livramento and Davis in for Mope next week, or Benteke in for Mope this week and get Alonso before game week 15. The thing is, my friend, next week they play Watford and you want Alonso for that game, That's the only thing I like to say. And that game is like in midweek. That's not even after 1 week, so... If you want, you can do it. I mean, Mope is not like on the list of the like even in my list of top 10 strikers to own. So if you want to get rid of Mope, you can. You know, Liveramento's not going to give you any points this game week anyway, so you can definitely think about going for Alonso. FPL Lights is waiting to see how United plays under Ragnick. Ronaldo doesn't press. Yeah, Ronaldo doesn't need to press FPL Knights. You know, if they play in the structure in which, you know, they play 3 supporting players behind Ronaldo, kind of, you know, like a 3-4-1 or like that kind of a structure in which, you know, they play with an auxiliary left back or an auxiliary right back, which I think it's going to be difficult because Aaron Wan-Bissaka is more of a traditional right back. So let's see how they set up and how they play. Ragnick is a really good manager, though. I have to say that. I didn't want Ole to go. Being an Arsenal fan, I would have loved for Ole to stay. You know, United would become a force to reckon with after they get this manager. I mean, you know, they've got Sancho, they've got Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, Mason Greenwood, Rashford. They've got amazing players, and you know, if they get a good manager, it's gonna make them play better. King, the best budget forward. King is alright, yes. I mean, with Joao Pedro coming back, Dennis, you know, they're all decent options. I like the look of Pookie as well. Under the new manager, I think he can turn a corner, and he's cheap as well. So yeah, King, Dennis, Joao Pedro, Pookie, I like the look of them all, yeah. Your views on Gundogan. FPL Jag, if I honestly wanted to go for somebody in the same price bracket as Gundogan, I would go for Bernardo Silva. Who to captain this game week? Is Salah the best one? Salah has 7 goals and 1 assist in 8 games against Southampton. He plays at Anfield, he never misses. I wouldn't overthink it, Mac. I think the best option, if you ask me, has to be Salah. The second best, somebody like Aubameyang or Kane, but you know, I don't think they even come close. Based on the previous form, you can say they are good options, but based on the forms, you can't look beyond Salah, bro. It's Mr. May says transfer Foden to Gundogan, Bernardo, or Zaha. Zaha has been quiet for the past couple of game weeks, hasn't he? If I was you, I'd think about Bernardo Silva, bro. Honestly. I mean, I might be biased because I want to get in Bernardo Silva, so take that with a pinch of salt. But I honestly feel that Bernardo Silva is a very good option. Looking at the City fixtures here, let me show you. Why wouldn't you want Bernardo Silva? Aston Villa, Watford, Wolves, Leeds, Newcastle, Leicester, Brentford, Arsenal. I mean, that's amazing fixtures. Until the half of the season, until like 26th December, they don't have really tough fixtures, City. And if Bernardo Silva misses an odd game, just remember you need a bench cover for any City player which you own. If you have that, then just... yeah. Hang on, guys. Let me have a drink of water. This cold is getting worse. If Todd was here, he'll possibly start saying that I'm now sub base, right? Not even base. I'm in the sub base category now, especially with this cold. It's Mr. May already answered that. Yeah, looking at him also. Ahmed Yassin says, I have Arnold, James, Cancelo. Shall I replace Chilwell to Alonso or replace Foden to Jota? That's a tough one, Ahmed. I'd say it's better to replace an injured player should he fall more in price, because Chilwell is out till January, I think. You know, you always should deal with fires in your team first, then making a luxury transfer. Although Foden is injured as well, I think Foden has more chance than Jota. Slim No Reaper says Benrahma or Rudiger. Michael says thanks Wiz, you're welcome, bro. Pedro says Wiz, do you have a cold? Me too. I have a cold. I've got a really bad cold here. Actually, what happens in these days, you know, it's the season of the paddy, and when they cut the paddy crop, they actually burn the remains of the crop. It's called stubble of the paddy, and it you know, because they've put like fertilizers, chemicals and stuff on the crop, and when they burn it, it all comes into the air. Like these 10 or 15 days in northern India are really bad for the air quality index and stuff. So most of the people here are suffering, although it's we can use air purifiers and stuff at home, but you eventually you have to go out and do your work as well. So been suffering from a bad cold. Hopefully it gets better, bro. FPL Sam says hope for a Saka masterclass. Yeah, totally, bro. Been like, I wanted to transfer out Saka for Gallagher 2 weeks back, but I'd say let's keep him for the Newcastle fixture. Really hope he does well. Aditya says, hi Wiz, start any two of the four, Antonio, Reguilon, Gilmore or Diaz. Reguilon and Diaz? I would start Reguilon and Diaz. Pedro says, so I've made my 2 transfers, Chilwell, Havertz to Jota, Alonso, but I still have Sarr, so have to play Brandon Williams. That's like, let me see if Sarr, what's the update on Sarr? I haven't even looked at the Watford players, my friend. Just give me a sec. Yeah, I do expect Sarr. He has a knee injury and he'll miss. I think, it's not a bad idea to get rid of Sarr if he's out for a long time, Pedro. It depends on who you are getting and what are the prospects of that player in this game week. If you feel they can justify the hit, I'd say why not. Shopman says, swap Foden for Bernardo Silva. Yeah, why not? You can. Bench Gallagher or Mbumo. If I was you, I'd bench Mbumo, especially if you own Tony. Came late to your live, what is your transfer? No transfers made, bro. George says, hey Wiz, do you reckon Foden will play 0 or 90? Should I bench him for Duffy? If you have Foden, just put him in the team, George. Even if he doesn't play the full 90, I still feel, there's no point in putting... If you own Foden, there's no point in putting him on the bench. That's just what I feel. He's kind of a luxury player in your team, so just put him in the team. If he's fit enough, I think he'll play. If he's not, I don't think he's going to come on. I think Sterling's going to get a chance anyway. Todd says, a certain wizard has been smoking too much pipe weed. Actually, the last time I met Gandalf, he actually stole my pipe. I'm actually looking for him, and you guys in the Gandalf tier need to help me in this. I wish. This is just, actually I've been doing a passive smoking, this damn pollution is just like smoking when you're not really even, getting any pleasure out of it. Not that I'm advocating it anyway, guys. Cigarette smoking is injurious to health. Stan says, Chilwell to Alonso or Chilwell to James and Rafinha to Gallagher. Chilwell to Alonso or Chilwell to James and Rafinha. I mean, Chilwell to James would be my recommended transfer. Even if you don't do Rafinha to Gallagher, I don't mind, But if you don't have the money, then I understand you if you want to do Chilwell to Alonso. No. But my first preference would be James. If I had to replace anybody with kind of Chilwell, it has to be it definitely has to be James rather than Alonso. Well, you have Nirdesh says, hey Wiz, Rafinha to Jota, what do you say? I don't know, my friend. A lot of people talking about transferring out Rafinha. Do you really want to take out Rafinha for these fixtures? Let me see what's the status with Bamford, so that we are actually better informed here. Leeds United. What do you say about Bamford? The ones finishing their recovery are Robin Koch and Patrick Bamford. I think Bamford is coming back, but not for this game week. But I still would want to own Rafinha. Look at these fixtures, guys. You really want to get rid of Rafinha before Crystal Palace and Brentford? I wouldn't. And then you can get rid of Rafinha before these fixtures. Like, these are absolutely horrible fixtures. But that's totally up to you. That's just my opinion. Hey, Wiz, do you think Alonso would start? I think he would. Why wouldn't he start, my friend? Why wouldn't he start? Because the thing is, they don't have many left backs. I think they have like 2 options at left back. And Alonso and Chilwell. Who else can play there? Can Malang Sarr play there? I'm not sure. On right back, they again had a couple of options in like Azpilicueta, Reece James, and maybe Callum Hudson-Odoi if they want to play him as a wing back. So on the left, they just have Alonso and Chilwell. They don't have too many options there. So I'd assume he'd play, yeah. Todd says Pedro take the hit for Smith Rowe. Not a bad option, especially for this game week. Next game week, I'm not so sure because they play against United with a new manager and enthused Old Trafford crowd. But for this game week, yeah. And long term as well, I think Smith Rowe is still a good option, regardless of who they play. And 5.9 million price is amazing for him. Who is the ideal replacement? Aditya, it all depends upon the structure of your team. Whether you want to kind of take money out of Chilwell, then you can downgrade him to somebody like Reguilon, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. If you want to go down, you can get somebody like Duffy, and you could even I don't want to recommend Luke Shaw, but if you want, you can go there as well. If you want to get a like-for-like replacement, then you can go for somebody like Alonso or James. If you don't have James, then first go for James and then Alonso. What do you think about Reguilon under Conte? Actually, let me just show you his stats on Fantasy Football Fix. That gives me a chance to kind of, tell you all, if you want to take membership of this website, you can just, head over to Fix and use my discount code, which is in the description. All right, so Opta Stats Sandbox. Let's see. Reguilon. All right. I don't know. Somehow I always kind of mess up. Here. I don't know what's going on here. Just give me a second, guys. I just need to fix this. Sergio Reguilon. No, Liverpool. I want from Spurs, and we want Reguilon here. All right, and we want for which game week? We want for game week 12, right? Start game week 12. So you can see here. I hope you can see it. Let me just check the screen. There you go. So you can see how Reguilon played. Most of the time he was actually not playing like a wing back. He was playing like left back here. He wasn't pushing up much, especially to the counter attacks. So he had 52 touches. Let's have a look. So you can see, like, he did have some touches in that box, but most of them were concentrated around here. Let's look at his numbers as well. XG is obviously 1 because he scored a goal. He took 2 shots, 1 on target, shots in the box 2. Expected assists 0.07 in the game against Leeds. Attempted assists 1, only 1 cross. So just earlier under Nuno is better, I'd say. But one game is not a parameter to kind of judge. Reguilon, but let me show you with Emerson Royal as well. All right, game week 12. Show us. What did you do, Emerson Royal? Right, 12, not 13. So yeah, here's Emerson Royal. You can see the main touches he took was either he was just tucked back here or he was kind of attacking. So let's see his touches as well. So as you can see, if you compare like Emerson Royal and Reguilon, it shows that like Emerson Royal hugs the touchline more, and Reguilon was actually, you can see he's taken more touches here in and around the box and even in the midfield. But technically, I just don't see. Look at Emerson Royal. Everything is 0. 1 cross and everything else is 0. Reguilon did have 2 shots, but honestly, I'm not enthused by Spurs defenders. Not after that one performance. Let's have a look at 1 or 2 more games. Maybe give them a chance to kind of, settle themselves under Conte, and then let's make a decision on them. Babin says, bring in Alonso for Livramento for a free and start one from Mbeumo and Antonio. Just play and don't get Alonso. If I was you, I'd definitely, if you want to go for the upside of Alonso, which this week might not be that much, but next week you get him for Watford. So, I think you can do it. And then if you want, you can bench, like Antonio and play Mbeumo. That's totally a roll of the dice. Antonio hasn't been in good form for the past few few game weeks hasn't been scoring. Like West Ham have been scoring goals. Like West Ham scored 3 against Poole and 4 against Villa. Antonio wasn't involved. You know, at the back of my mind I want to sell Antonio, but then I look at these fixtures. Like after City he's got Brighton, then one more difficult game, then he's got Burnley, Arsenal, Norwich, Southampton, Watford, Palace. So the fixtures are turning for Antonio. I don't want to get rid of him before this, and that is the reason I'm keeping him. Otherwise I did consider kind of get rid of him. Pedro says, trouble is, there aren't many good options for 7.4 or less. Emil Smith Rowe is a good suggestion, but as Wiz says, just did 1 week. Thinking Bernardo Silva is a great option, Pedro. If you want to go for somebody sub 7.4 million, I'd definitely consider Bernardo Silva. Although Emil Smith Rowe is starting for Arsenal in all the games, and he's not much of a risk because he gives you the funds to invest elsewhere. It's not about one player, it's about your entire team becoming stronger, you know? Nirdesh says you're playing with Antonio with 2 City. You know, Nirdesh, the thing is, I have to, like, if I don't play Antonio, for example, right? Who else would I play? Norman, Livramento, Brownhill? I still feel that if West Ham score, I can't control the outcome anyway. So, you know, I'm just hitting and hoping. If West Ham score, may it be Antonio. Otherwise, I hope West Ham don't score a goal. Who knows? Khalid says start McCarthy or Foster. I don't expect any of them to keep a clean sheet. To be honest with you, what do they play against Leicester away? Right? They're not gonna keep a clean sheet. I'd say Foster. Just you know, the odd chance. You know, I don't know. You know, because Ranieri going back to Leicester, there's another story there. So maybe, you know, just for that reason, maybe Foster. How many goals do you think Liverpool are likely to score? 2, I'd say 2 or 3. Southampton don't concede that much, you know, that many goals. And in my opinion, you know, 2 or 3 I'd suggest. That's what I think personally. Gasper says start Rudiger or Duffy. Rudiger. Is Damari Gray fit to start? I don't think so. He's been doing light training. It doesn't make him. I don't think he's gonna start. I think Iwobi is gonna start in place of him. That's what I think. Todd says Pedro. I like Bernardo, but I'm leery of a Manchester City triple up. I can't stomach 3 times Pep Roulé. Double Pep Roulé is enough for me. That's true. That's absolutely true. I think if you own somebody like Cancelo and Bernardo Silva, I think that's enough. Enough City. You know, you don't need to own 3 City players at the moment. But if you already own 2, I'd still say like get Bernardo Silva and then get rid of one of the defenders. So that's a better option because Bernardo Silva has been starting. Let me show you here. Bernardo Silva's numbers, especially starting for Pep Guardiola, they've been insane, guys. Just absolutely insane. Let me take off. Oops. Just give me a second here. Bernardo, you look here. So, you know, he's been starting almost all the games yet. I mean, this is insane. Alright, he got 57 wins against Arsenal and 71 against Southampton, but under Pep Guardiola, these kinds of numbers are insane, guys. You know, like he's not missed a game, and he's got like 4 goals and 2 assists, 7.2 million, 11.2 million, close to a differential, this guy. What's not to love about Bernardo Silva? I wish I could get him in for one transfer this game week. I would do it, you know. And even next game week, the problem is if I get the reason why I'm not getting Alonso this game week in place of Diaz is that if I do this, if I get Alonso in place of Diaz, I got 0.8 million in the bank, and I can't get Bernardo Silva in place of Saka. Otherwise, next game week my transfer would already be booked. I would get Bernardo Silva in place of Saka, but since this is not happening, I'm kind of struggling to make a transfer, and that is the reason I decided to keep Diaz and watch Alonso, watch Chelsea, and see what happens in this, you know, in this sphere, and how Chelsea play against United, and then take a decision on them. But that is, yeah, that's the plan. Pedro says, how about Leicester sets? Barnes, cheaper, good fixtures. You really want to go with Harvey Barnes? You can. His numbers have been good. Leicester haven't been good. The main problem is they've been missing Tillemans, they've been missing Madison. You know, they've been missing a lot of key players. Bokari Somare, they bought the new player. He hasn't gelled in absolutely well. Patson Daka's been doing well in the Europa League, but in the Premier League, not so much. So I would not recommend you to go for Harvey Barnes. I know you're thinking about Harvey Barnes because of the Watford fixture, but if you look at the larger picture or the Leicester assets long term, I would not be so sure. Hang on, let me just check their long-term fixtures. Yeah, they've got Watford, Southampton, Aston Villa, Newcastle. So I know they've got 4 good fixtures, and I can understand why you want to go for Harvey Barnes. But, you know, unless he scores a goal, he comes back in form. Posting good numbers absolutely means nothing for FPL unless you know, convert them into FPL numbers. Yeah. But if you want to go for Harvey Barnes, that's totally up to you, bro. I just wouldn't recommend him as my first pick. I like Bernardo Silva much more than I do Harvey Barnes at the moment. You know, especially because of the way he's posting his numbers and getting the odd goal or assist in each game. You know, so yeah. Just give me a sec, guys. Having a drink of water. Alright. So let me just go on to Twitter real quick and check any updates about Liverpool. I don't think there's any. Yeah. Don't think there's any updates here. So here's the ticket. I've got a ticket for sale as my train was cancelled in the morning. Oh, so he's just selling his ticket. Alright. Living in India, I wish I could go to games. That's not gonna happen. Alright. No, I honestly I don't see any updates. So that means the Liverpool game is definitely gonna go through without any issues. That's the hope in it. Yeah. So no updates, guys. Yeah, no updates for me. Let's come back and answer your questions. Siamin says, sub out Townsend and sub in Smith Rowe. What do you think? Absolutely. Why not? Smith Rowe has been in good form. He's scored for England. He's been playing well. He even played decent against Liverpool. So yeah, why not? Abhijit says, hey Wiz, Mbumo has been annoying and I have Mo Payne as well. That's a nice name, Mo Payne. Should I sell both of them for Trossard, Gallagher, Emil Smith Rowe and Benteke Pukki? Yeah, but I mean, if you don't want to sell Mbumo, I would understand that because Mbumo has been posting good numbers even though he's not been giving good FPL returns, and at 5.6 million he is not much of a risk. So if you want, you can make one transfer, you know. Give Mbumo a chance and move on. If you have 2 free transfers, then yes, you can move them on, my friend. Gallagher is an amazing option, you know, along with the I like Benteke and Pukki both. They've been doing well. So yeah, I like those transfers, Abhijit. Definitely do. Out of the midfielders, I'd definitely prefer Gallagher. You know, he's just been ticking along nicely, and his price range is like 6.1. So yeah, totally like that. I've been kind of struggling with my rank, you know, being stuck in between 100k and 200k for the last 4, 5, 6 weeks. Just need to get a move on, guys. Just need a break. For example, last week Harry Kane scoring or doing something would have gone well for me. What happened was, Harry Kane didn't do anything. I took a hit for Kane, and then I brought in Kane, and then Rafinha and Diaz out of the blue, they didn't play. Rafinha was expected, but Diaz, he didn't play. So I got Brownhill and Livramento points from the bench. That was absolutely uncalled for, you know. I need to push on, need to break into that 100k and find a way to stay there, and then find a way to build a solid platform and push on from there. You know, thresholds are good, but you know, you need to kind of sometimes get a move on. Do you think Chelsea will concede? See, I'm not sure. It looks unlikely. I mean, Chelsea have been defending really, really well. Even in the Champions League and in the Premier League, I don't see a reason for them to concede. I think Chilwell going out doesn't affect them defensively as much as, attacking wise. Like Alonso is like, he doesn't track back that much. So what happens is, I think the centre back who plays on the left hand side, like left centre back, which is Rudiger, he's going to have to cover Alonso a lot more than he used to Chilwell, because Chilwell would like be up and down that flank like, and like an absolute live wire. But Alonso, he does push forward, he does attack a lot, but he doesn't track back. So unless Rudiger can cover Alonso, I think that is the side which they can try and expose. But that's holding on to the absolute, you can say threadbare strings. Not sure if that's gonna happen. Play Mbeumo or Tony. If I was you, I'd play Tony. He's on penalties. He scored a goal last game week, and in general, he's the better player overall. Mbeumo is just, if he doesn't hit the post, he'll hit the bar. So it doesn't make a difference. Not gonna get FPL points. Very frustrating player to own, Mbeumo. Is a good player to watch though, but not good FPL asset to own, especially when he keeps hitting the bars and the posts often. So no more comments. So guys, I'll just want to take the opportunity here to once again remind you, just hit the join button and you can become a member of the FPL Visit channel. I've got new membership levels in which the Dumbledore membership level is absolutely for the price of a coffee. So if you want to support the channel, do become a member, and you get this beautiful badge right next to your name, and you get this custom emojis and a lot of other stuff. And when we cross 10 members, I'm going to start doing a midweek like members only stream. So that's an additional benefit, but for that we need members, right? Because I don't want to be doing live streams alone. So when we get like 10 members, I'm gonna do like live streams for members only. So that's an additional advantage if you want to consider that. The good thing is, like, we're not even close to the deadline today, and we're out of questions. I think one of the reasons for that today is, that I think the fixtures for many teams are good. The most heavily owned players all have good fixtures. The captaincy is like pretty straightforward. So yeah. Rafael Reza says, bro, sell Foden for Jota -4. If you feel that Foden is not going to play, then I'd say that's not a bad move to make. Guys, for all of you who own Foden, and I know you've been asking me this question, it's a difficult one to call. So if you really want to sell Foden for Jota, you can. For a hit, it makes me a little bit apprehensive. But long term, I'd say that's not a bad transfer to make. Lightra says, weather in Liverpool looks fine. 16-kilometer light winds, rain clearing. That's nice to know, guys. Captaincy fixed on Salah. Rudiger to Alonso, should I do it? No, why do you want to do it? I don't know, my friend. I think Rudiger is a centre back. Centre backs are much more nailed. The fixture congestion dictates that centre backs, if you already own somebody like James, then it's better to own like Rudiger if you already have him. If I was getting like somebody in place of Chilwell, I would consider Alonso. But if like you already own James, then I'd consider Rudiger. Absolutely consider. Rafa says, I'm so worried. Don't be worried, my friend. It's touch and go because we don't know what's happening with Foden. Pep's comments were not the best. So guys, we have a new member to the FPL Visit community. Abhijit Narayan just joined, and I thank you so much for considering to support the channel. Abhijit, welcome, and thanks once again. I hope you enjoy your stay, bro. Do join our Discord group as well. As the stream ends, I'll post a link to our Discord group as well. So do join there. There's lots of beautiful FPL people there. Nice chats, pleasant chats happening. So yeah, guys, I'd say if we are done with the questions, especially about the teams, we can move on to the predictions today. Let's save some time. Elias says bench Foden, Rudiger, and Huang. I'd bench. Wow, that's such a tough one. Such a tough one. I don't want to bench Huang, because Huang plays against Norwich. I'd say, Elias, you can think about benching Foden if you want to. I'm really not sure. It's such a tough question to answer, because if I was sure Foden was fit, I'd tell you to bench somebody else. But since he's not fit, Rudiger and Huang are definitely going to play. I'd say, why not? Smelly Web says, welcome. Abhijit used the beautiful hat emoji. I'm going to add some more emojis as well to this collection, guys. Thomas says, is Rafinha to Jota a good move? Thomas, see, I just talked about it previously as well. I mean, these are good fixtures for Rafinha. Although Jota is in himself is a great pick in FPL. But do you really want to transfer out Rafinha before Crystal Palace, Brentford, Brighton? If Rafinha doesn't score in these fixtures, when will he? So in my opinion, it's touch and go. It's not clear cut. So if I was you, I'd possibly think to keep. Will Robertson play? Hang on, let me check the comments. I always make notes and I'll let you know. Let's say what Klopp said about Robertson. Jordan Henderson and excuse me. I think Robertson did play against Porto, didn't he? Hang on, let me check it. Don't want to make a statement before I check it because I didn't watch that game. Yeah, so Tsimikas, he played 63 minutes, and after 63 minutes Robertson came in, so I think he should be okay to start. So Robertson is gonna be fine, yeah. Marco says, do you think Foden to Jota for a -4 is worth it? Or keep Foden and have Mbeumo as a first sub? The problem is -4. I think Foden to Jota is a good move. I have no doubts about that. The problem is -4. It's hard for me to recommend a -4 because I'm not sure if Foden's going to play or not. I already read Pep's comments for you. Jota, I like as an option. I'd love to have him in my team. The problem is, you asked me for a -4. I'm leaning towards saying yes. I'd say 65%. I'd like to say it's a good move, but you have to make the decision. If you own Ivan Toney, then I don't think there's a point in playing Mbeumo and Ivan Toney both, and I'd take a hit and get Jota, especially now that we are getting good news about Liverpool weather and all that stuff. So if the game's gonna go through, I assume that Jota's gonna feature. So yeah. Aaron says, I think Vardy's gonna haul. He loves destroying the rainbow corner flags. yeah, like he did against, I think, Brighton. Might just make a last-minute move for Vardy. To be honest with you, Aaron, he's been in horrible form. Yes, he's playing against Watford, but there's that angle with Claudio Ranieri, and, if I was you, I wouldn't get Vardy in. Although the fixtures look good, the next 4 are good for Vardy. If I already owned him, I would keep him, but I wouldn't get him in. Just my 2 cents. Todd says Jota is a great option as long as Firmino is out. Let's see how long Firmino is out for. Suffered a serious setback in the Champions League. What did he play? Let me see. So, let me see how long Firmino is out for. He's out for a long time. I think Jota is definitely a good option. Firmino. If Firmino is out, then he's even more nailed on. So yeah, totally agree with that. Abhijit says Mbeumo to Emil Smith Rowe and Mope to Benteke going to lock in. I like those moves, my friend. Pukki or Benteke was a bit it was a tight decision for me. But since you made the decision for Benteke, I think he's in good form, and Benteke is kind of a streaky player. Once he goes on form, he does tend to score 1, 2, 3, 4 games. So I'd say not bad moves to make. Technically, I think. Hang on, let me show you. Before you make those moves, just give me 1 second. I want to show you here. So I'll compare Emil Smith Rowe and Gallagher, because these are players which I think honestly the best two cheap kind of players which are in the game. So 5.9 Emil Smith Rowe, and let's compare Gallagher. All the numbers are in favor of Gallagher. Just have to tell you this. So starting game week 1. Sorry, just give me a second, guys. So you see here, Emil Smith Rowe is Sergio Reguilon. Damn you, Sergio. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. I'm just trying to fix this stuff here. There you go. So Emil Smith Rowe and Gallagher. Gallagher's like kind of all over the place. Emil Smith Rowe is more concentrated on the left-hand side. Let's see their numbers per 90. Guys, look here. Goals, almost the same, 0.37, 0.38. Expected goals, 0.17 for Smith Rowe. This is average statistic per 90 minutes. 0.17 for Smith Rowe, 0.37 for Gallagher. Shots, 1.46 for Smith Rowe, 2.25 for Gallagher. Shots on target, again Gallagher. Shots in the box, 1.50 for Gallagher. Goal plus or goal assists, 0.28 for Gallagher, 1.18. Expected assists, look here. Emil Smith Rowe absolutely, far away from Gallagher where it comes to expected assists. Gallagher's got 0.2. He's got 0.09. So attempted assists, again, big chances created. 0.47 for Gallagher and 0.09 for... Like, there's no comparison in terms of numbers per 90 for Conor Gallagher. The only thing which they compare overall is like they both score 4 goals. And that is why people go for Gallagher. Look, expected goals throughout the season, 3.90 for Gallagher. And like ESR, Emil Smith Rowe is outperforming his XG. Conor Gallagher is actually performing as per his XG. He can score even more. 24 shots to 16, shots on target, shots in the box. Expected assist 2.34. Like, there's nothing to compare. Big chances created 5, 1, crosses 4. So if I was you, I would prefer... I know you want to go there because of the Newcastle fixture, but long term, I'd suggest Conor Gallagher is the better player. That's just what I wanted to show you. Desmond says, hi, do you think Diaz will play? Mate, I have honestly, it's hard to double guess Pep Guardiola, but let me just check. He did play 90 minutes in the midweek. I think against West Ham United, Pep Guardiola is going to be wary that this West Ham team has been doing really well, and I think he would want to play his best players. If Diaz doesn't play this game week, I'd be really, really concerned. Honestly, would be. But I'm taking this chance. On the off chance if Diaz doesn't play, it just makes it easier for me to take him out next game week for Alonso or somebody else. Smash that like button, says Todd. When Visit says something, you listen to him, guys. Max says keep Mope or get Benteke. Not sure which will start and about their XG. If I was you, for this game week, I'd get rid of... Because Mope is not playing, Trossard has taken that position in the false 9 role. So get rid of Mope and get somebody which you feel is nailed on. It could be Benteke, it could be Pukki, it could be Ivan Toney, it could be, anybody which you want to get. But by the way, also look at Abhijit, also look at Maxwell Cornet. Do look at Maxwell Cornet. Atul says, hey Wiz, would you take a -4 to go Chilwell to Rudiger to or Alonso or wait till next week? See Atul, if you have good starting 11, if you don't think that if you need to make this transfer, because Chilwell has already fallen in price once, I don't expect him to fall again until the end of the game week. So I wouldn't take him out if you have a good starting 11, but if you don't, then I would. Surfro says, hi Wiz, Zaha is getting frustrating to own. A good replacement, 6.9 in the banks. At 6.9, there's not going to be many options there. Maxwell Cornet is like really a really good option to own. The thing is 6.9 is a very like it's like close to somebody like Bernardo Silva, but not absolutely there. Jared Bowen or Leandro Trossard would be my options, along with Rafinha, obviously. Rafinha, uh, yeah, Rafinha, Bowen, or Leandro Trossard would be my options. Surfer says Hype is getting Zaha is frustrating our answer. Matthew says Foden to Jota, or should I hold Foden? Foden to Jota is a good move, I'd say, my friend. Thomas says, do you think Foden will play? Thomas, I don't have any idea, but Pep's comment suggests it's like 50-50. Abhijit says, well then, Mbumo to Gallagher and Mope to Pookie. Mbumo to Gallagher is good, but if it enables you to go, yeah, I think that's a decent move to make. Just let me check Norwich's fixtures real quick. I don't think Norwich's fixtures are good, but Wolves, Newcastle's, but then Tottenham, United, Aston Villa, not getting easier, but Pookie still can nab a goal or two, especially with Dean Smith at the helm. That's a tough one. Smith Rowe and Benteke sound better. If it was only between Gallagher and Smith Rowe, I'd say just go for Gallagher. But since it is Gallagher and like Pookie or Smith Rowe and Benteke, finding it a bit difficult. Just weigh your options, bro. If you have any more, let me know. Time to lock your team, says Mellyweb. Guys, 7 minutes to go lock your teams. Todd says Wiz getting very animated over Gallagher. It's fear of missing out, Todd. It's FOMO, bro. I don't own him. I want to own him, and that's where all this animation's coming from. Achitan says, hey, Wiz, Sar out for Saka and Antonio out for Jimenez. Forehead. If I was you, I wouldn't get Saka, bro. You're gonna be stuck with Saka. The fixtures are not that good, so just get Jimenez for Antonio. And I don't recommend going for Saka just for one game. If you want to get him for long term, then yes, otherwise no. Sukrat says, Sat Shri Akal bhai. Sat Shri Akal Sukrat, do you think it's wise for me to captain Jota instead? Southampton. There's 2 banks of 4. So Kraj, to be honest with you, if you own Salah and in the same fixture captain Jota, it will be difficult. Especially, your logic could be right, but if Salah is on penalties, if he bangs, it'll just push you back in rank. When there's such a clear-cut captaincy option, that week never go for a differential is my opinion. I have Cornet on my team, says Abhijit. FPL Sums talking about the weather. Havis, Foden or Wong. Foden, not sure if Foden plays. But you can put him in the team. If he doesn't come on, then Wong will. How about Wong in for Tony or even Antonio? You're just saying this because of the Norwich fixture. Remember, they're not managed by Daniel Farke anymore. They're not going to concede as many goals as they used to. So I think at this moment in time, when they have fixture congestion, do not target short-term transfers at this time in the season. Alright. Will says, do I do Diaz to Alonso for free or wait 1 week? See, Will, I have the same. I have a free transfer. I can make it. I can easily go Diaz to Alonso. But in my case, I'm choosing to wait for 1 week. Sully says, who can replace for Havertz? If you want, you can keep Havertz. But if you want to replace him, I say Jota is one of the best options, along with Bernardo Silva. Himal says, any possible news about Liverpool's game cancel? Himal, in my opinion, I think the game's gonna go ahead. I've been looking on Twitter. I see nothing to suggest that the game's not gonna go ahead. That's all I can say. So, if there was a news, we would already know it by now. Guys, 5 minutes to go. Lock your teams. Abhijit says, I'm going for ML Smith Rowe Benteke combo. Thanks, Wiz. You're welcome, Abhijit. I hope you have a great game week. FPL sums like he's drawing clouds, rain, thunder, hurricanes, whatnot. Salah's still gonna score, bro. It's Mr. May says, Tony to Benteke worth a transfer. I think not this game week. I think Aston Villa is not like. Aston Villa has a rejuvenated team. They won against Gerrard the first game. It's going to be a very interesting, fascinating game to watch. Patrick Vieira versus Gerrard. But I'd say keep Tony for this game week. If you want to get Benteke, you can do it next week as well. Shane says Sanchez or Foster if Duffy in. Still Sanchez. Will Marçal play? Wolverhampton, I think he's not gonna play from what I know. Let me check it for you. Wolves. Let me see. Marçal is Yeah, he's training. Marsal's training, but 8 Nori's been playing well, so not sure if he's gonna be put back into the team immediately, you know. Start Foster or Sanchez. Sanchez. Aditya says, why is everybody rumoring about Liverpool match? Aditya, there was actually a storm in Liverpool, and there was a warning yesterday, like an advisory issued by the government or the officials there that it could be a very aggressive kind of a storm, and that is the reason everybody's kind of concerned. But from the news and the weather today in Liverpool, as they say, is clearing out, and by the time the match starts, I think it should all be fine. But there was a concern since yesterday. Wolves, Nori is locked in. Yeah, I agree. I think Nori is going to play. I don't think Marsal's going to play. You're welcome, Achitan. Todd says Marsal unlikely to play, especially with 8 Nori doing so well. I don't think Marsal's going to get a chance unless 8 Nori makes a howler or something like that. And he's a good option too, against Norwich. Just put vice captain on another team. Yeah, guys, I already said this. Let me refresh my team for you, and put your vice captain not on Trent Alexander-Arnold. If you're captaining Salah, vice captain Harry Kane or somebody else. Don't vice captain the same player or a player from the same team. Like, for example, I've got it on Harry Kane. Just be prudent and captain somebody else. Guys, 2 minutes left. Just lock your teams. We don't want to get late. So yeah, guys, we don't want to get late. Just lock your teams and always make your transfers like before like 5 minutes before the deadline. Sometimes these websites tend to crash, especially in these busy game weeks. So here's the link for the Discord server that we own, guys. All of you are welcome to join. It's free, and there's like FPL chat happening all the time. We've got like Peter and we've got GW13, like really good people there who help make your decisions, and just talk about FPL all day long, just if you want to consume more content. Vice captain Vardy, Son or Jimenez, or no, Vardy, light race Vardy. Against Watford, I'd say Vardy. In any case, Salah's gonna play, but let's just not take any risks. What time City players start training? Well, after the deadline, bro. Not gonna get any news. So Foden's a dubious one. If anybody's asked me today whether they should transfer out Foden, I've told them if you can do it for a free to Jota, then yes. The only problem I have recommending is hits. It's just difficult for me. I've taken 2 hits all season. It's hard for me to recommend taking hits, unless it's for somebody like Chilwell, and you don't have 11 players. Antonio or Mbumo. The deadline is past, bro. The deadline is past, Nirdesh. I hope you locked your team, bro. Honestly, dude. But anyways, today's deadline is over, and it was a healthy stream, guys. And after a long time, we got a new member as well, so it was a good one as well. There you go, Smelly Wab with the Zen and Inner Peace tweet, which we always wait for. So guys, I'm not gonna be able to do predictions today. Just not feeling up to it. Hopefully, just because the fixtures this game week are, like very predictable. I don't think, like, for example, I think Arsenal, Newcastle. I think Arsenal gonna win. Liverpool, Southampton. It's clear. I think the mid-table teams are the ones which are actually the most interesting to call. For example, Chelsea, United, I expect Chelsea to win. Manchester City, I expect to win. Leicester's gonna win. I think here the Spurs are gonna struggle, but they're gonna win. The interesting games are gonna be Palace, Villa, Norwich, Wolves. I think Wolves are gonna win this, but gonna be a tough one. Brighton Leeds is a very difficult game to call. So these are the games which are the ones which are interesting, but fortunately we don't own too many players from these games, so it's not that much that big of a deal. Gunners 2-1 says Todd. Thank you so much, Todd. But today I'm just skipping the predictions, bro. But thank you so much that you want the Gunners to win and you predicted. I hope it comes true, and it would be better if they can keep a clean sheet as well. All right, guys. So we come to the end of another deadline stream and another session. Just take care of yourselves. Be ready. Be geared for lots of footballs and lots of streams to come in the coming days. I shall be with you in about, I think, 3 days, because the next game week is actually, let's see when it is. I think it's, oh my days. Anyways, this always happens, doesn't it? This game starts updating, and give me a second here. There you go. So yeah, guys. The next game week is midweek, so I'm gonna be doing another live stream very soon. I hope you all have a great game week, and I hope all the discussion, all the transfers, all the advice that we did here on the deadline stream, it pays out for you. Just take care, everybody, and hope you all have a great game week. May the arrows be green. FPL Visit signing out, and I hope to see you very soon, but with green arrows. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.